If you've ever looked in the mirror and wondered, what happened to me? You're not alone. When your blood doesn't flow like it used to, everything changes. Your energy fades, your strength slips, and intimacy that was once effortless often becomes a quiet memory, locked quietly away. But here's the shocker. A common household powder, baking soda, when taken the right way, may help unclog your veins, support healthy blood flow, and reignite the vitality you thought was gone for good. I'm Dr. Cyram Malik. I've spent over 30 years helping men reclaim their health, their energy, and their confidence after 60, naturally, safely, and without risky medications. And what I'm about to share may challenge everything you think you know about aging. Because here's the paradox. The very thing we use to calm our stomachs may also support better circulation. And with it, a stronger, more connected version of yourself. In just a few moments, I'll walk you through exactly how to take baking soda, step by step, to support your body from the inside out. This simple shift could help you feel more alive, more present, and more like yourself again. So stay with me. You'll want to hear this. Before we continue, if you haven't already, I'd love for you to subscribe and tap the bell. That way, you won't miss any future tips designed specifically to help men feel stronger, healthier, and more confident at any age. And if this message is speaking to you, simply type the number 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. I read every response, and I'm here to keep improving for you. Now, to understand why this simple habit can be so powerful, we need to look at what's really happening inside the body after 60. Because the truth is, most men don't lose intimacy or energy because of age alone. They lose it because circulation quietly slows down, year after year. And once you understand why that happens, you'll see exactly why baking soda might be the missing piece. 1, why circulation slows down after 60, and why it affects everything. I still remember one of my earliest patients who looked me in the eye and said, "Doctor, I don't feel like a man anymore." He wasn't talking about strength or muscles. He was talking about connection, about the simple joy of waking up with energy, feeling alive, feeling needed. And the truth is, his story wasn't unique at all. As men age, something shifts inside. It's rarely dramatic at first. It starts subtly. Maybe you feel tired after a short walk. Maybe your hands and feet are colder than they used to be. Maybe intimacy just feels distant. And slowly, what was once effortless becomes a quiet struggle. But this isn't weakness, it's biology. After 60, the body begins to produce far less nitric oxide, a natural compound that helps relax and expand your blood vessels. Without enough of it, blood has a harder time moving through your arteries. The result is sluggish circulation, less oxygen reaching your brain, your muscles, and yes, the parts of you that help you feel like yourself in the bedroom. It's not in your head, it's in your blood. Poor circulation doesn't just affect performance. It changes how you think, how you sleep, and even how you feel about yourself. Over time, low blood flow leads to inflammation, fatigue, brain fog, and a fading sense of connection. It's no wonder so many men feel like a part of them is quietly slipping away. But here's what I tell every man who comes to see me. Just because something has slowed down does not mean it can't come back. Blood flow can be supported. Your body can be helped gently, naturally, and without another prescription bottle on your nightstand. Now, what if I told you there's something sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now? Something cheap, safe, and surprisingly powerful that may help restore blood flow and energy in ways most doctors never talk about? The answer might just surprise you. Let's talk about baking soda, but not just any use. A very specific, intentional way that makes all the difference. If you're still here and this message is resonating with you, just type the number 1 in the comments to let me know you're listening. It means a great deal to know this is reaching the right people. Now, let's keep going. There's more I want to share with you. 2, what baking soda actually does inside your body when I first came across the research connecting baking soda and circulation. I'll be honest, I raised an eyebrow. Like most clinicians, I'd always thought of it as something you toss into your fridge to absorb odors, or mix into a glass to settle a sour stomach. But the more I looked into it, the more I began to realize this humble white powder had far more potential than anyone was giving it credit for. Here's what most people don't realize. As we get older, the body's ability to regulate pH, the balance between acidity and alkalinity, begins to weaken. Over time, your system may lean toward being more acidic, especially if you're eating processed foods, not drinking enough water, or living under chronic stress. That acidic internal environment creates inflammation, tightens blood vessels, and makes it harder for blood to flow freely. And when blood flow slows, energy drops, mental clarity fades, and intimacy becomes strained. This is where baking soda becomes surprisingly valuable. When taken properly, in the right dose, and at the right time, baking soda acts as a natural alkalizer. It helps gently bring your body back into balance, and when that internal balance is restored, something remarkable begins to happen. Blood vessels start to relax. Nitric oxide production improves. Inflammation eases. Your blood, once thick and sluggish, begins to move more freely again. That improved circulation doesn't just benefit your heart, it touches every part of you. Men I've worked with over the years often report feeling more awake, more mentally grounded, and yes, more connected to their partner. It's not magic. It's simple, elegant physiology. You're giving your body the internal environment it needs to do what it was always designed to do. But here's the key. It only works if you use it the right way. I've seen far too many people go overboard, thinking more must be better, and end up with discomfort or setbacks. The power of baking soda lies in its precision. A small, correctly timed change can create a ripple effect throughout your entire system. So how exactly should you take it? What is the safe, effective method that men over 60 are using with real, meaningful results? Let me walk you through it step by step. 3. The right way to use baking soda for circulation and vitality. Let me share something I've learned after 3 decades in clinical medicine. The smallest things, done consistently and correctly, often create the biggest changes. And when it comes to baking soda, how you use it matters just as much as whether you use it at all. A few years ago, I had a patient. I'll call him Robert, 68 years old, a retired engineer with a sharp mind and kind eyes. But he was frustrated. Doctor, he told me, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to. I'm walking, eating better, sleeping more, but I still feel off, heavy, sluggish. When we adjusted just one thing, how and when he took a small dose of baking soda, everything began to shift. Let me walk you through exactly what I shared with him. First, the dose must be small. A 1/4 teaspoon of pure, food-grade baking soda stirred into an 8-ounce glass of room temperature water. That's it. And it's important to drink it first thing in the morning, before breakfast, before coffee, when your body is naturally more acidic after a night of fasting. That's when the alkalizing effect is most powerful. You're not just drinking something, you're gently resetting your internal chemistry at the moment your body is most receptive. I also recommend doing this only 3 to 4 times per week, never every single day. The goal is not to flood your body with sodium or force any kind of dramatic change. The goal is to gently support your blood, your vessels, and your energy system over time. Think of it as tuning the engine rather than revving it hard. And if you'd like to enhance the effect, you can add a squeeze of fresh lemon or a small pinch of natural salt. But even on its own, the results can be quite noticeable. Robert called me about 2 weeks later. It's like someone turned the lights back on, he told me. More energy, clearer thinking, and yes, intimacy felt possible again. But baking soda is just one piece of the larger puzzle. Because once circulation starts improving, something even more meaningful begins to return. Something many men fear they have lost forever. Let's talk about that next. If you're still with me and finding this valuable, go ahead and type the number 1 in the comments, just so I know you're here and this is speaking to you. Now let's keep moving forward. 4. What men are experiencing, one of the most deeply rewarding parts of my work, is hearing back from men who genuinely believed their best days were behind them, until they discovered they had more life left in them than they had ever imagined. And I'm not talking about miracles or overnight transformations. I'm talking about real men, ordinary men, who made one small change and finally started feeling like themselves again. I remember one man in particular. I'll call him Charles, 71 years old, a former high school coach, strong handshake, but you could see the tiredness settle deep in his eyes. It's not just about sex, doctor, he told me during our visit. It's about feeling like I'm still me, still someone my wife looks at the way she used to. That stayed with me long after he left my office. A few weeks into the baking soda routine, he called me just to say thank you. He said he wasn't running marathons or anything dramatic, but something was genuinely different. His mornings were clearer, his energy came back faster after walks, and his connection with his wife felt warm again, not rushed, not pressured, just present. It's like my body is listening to me again, he said, and he's far from the only one. Over the years, I've heard similar stories from men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s. Some say they feel sharper during the day. Others mention fewer nighttime bathroom trips disrupting their sleep. Many speak about a quiet confidence returning to their relationships, and nearly all of them say the same thing when they reflect on it. I wish I'd known about this sooner. What they're feeling isn't purely physical. It's deeply emotional as well. When circulation improves, it touches every corner of a man's life. He feels stronger, he shows up more fully, and that spark, that irreplaceable sense of being truly alive, begins to return. But as powerful as these stories are, there's something important I need to address next. Because if you're not careful, it's easy to get this wrong. And if you do, you risk undoing the very progress you've worked so hard to create. So let's talk about what not to do. 5. Common mistakes to avoid over the years. I've seen just how transformative simple habits can be when used correctly. But I've also witnessed how easy it is to derail real progress, sometimes with the very best of intentions. And that's why this section matters so much. Because while baking soda can be genuinely effective, there are several key mistakes that can hold you back, or worse, cause harm. The first mistake is thinking that more is better. I've had men come back to me saying, "Doctor, if a quarter teaspoon helped, surely a full teaspoon will work even faster." That is not how the body works. Too much baking soda can overwhelm your system with sodium, irritate the stomach lining, and actually raise blood pressure, the very opposite of what we're trying to achieve. This isn't about forcing change. It's about supporting your body's own natural rhythm. Less truly is more. The second mistake is taking it every single day without breaks. Your body needs rest cycles, even from beneficial things. Using baking soda 3 or 4 times a week gives your system the space it needs to adjust and respond appropriately. Pushing it daily can cause your body to stop responding and may even backfire. We are building long-term support here, not chasing a quick fix. Another common issue is using low-quality baking soda. Products that contain added fillers or aluminum compounds. Always choose a clean, food-grade version. Read the label. And please don't skip the water. I have had a few brave souls attempt to take baking soda dry, and let's just say it did not go well for anyone involved. And finally, please do not skip the conversation with your personal physician, especially if you have high blood pressure, kidney concerns, or are on a sodium-restricted diet. Even natural remedies deserve the same thoughtful respect as any prescribed medication. Your health history matters, and your safety always comes first. I share all of this not to discourage you, but to genuinely empower you. Because when you avoid these missteps, you give your body the very best chance to respond fully. And you allow real, lasting change to take root. Now, you might be wondering, how do I actually put all of this into practice? What's the first step? And how will I know if it's really working for me? Let's walk through exactly what to do next. 6. What to do next if you've made it this far that tells me something very important about you. You're ready. Not just curious, not just vaguely interested, but truly ready to do something meaningful for yourself. And the good news is, you don't need to overhaul your entire life to begin feeling the difference. You simply need to start with one small, consistent action. Here is what I recommend. Tomorrow morning, before breakfast, before the noise and demands of the day begin, mix a quarter teaspoon of food-grade baking soda into a glass of room temperature water. Stir it gently until it dissolves. Take a slow, deep breath and drink it steadily. Not rushed, not distracted, just you, making a quiet, intentional choice to care for yourself. Try this 3 or 4 times a week, not every day, and begin paying attention to how your body responds. Don't expect fireworks. This isn't a magic trick, but after a few days, you may begin to notice that you're waking up with a little more clarity, walking with a little more ease, feeling more grounded in your conversations, your thoughts, your relationships. This is not only about physical performance, it's about presence, about feeling like the fullest, best version of yourself again, and being able to offer that version to the people who matter most to you. And don't navigate this alone. Talk with your doctor if you have any concerns. Share this with a friend who might be quietly experiencing the same thing. And above all, listen to your body. It communicates far more than we give it credit for. This is how it begins. Not with an expensive prescription. Not with another hopeful promise in a bottle. But with one quiet, deliberate choice made in your own kitchen. And from that single choice, the changes can ripple outward in ways you may never have expected. Before we wrap up, there's one final message I want to leave with you. It may be the most important thing I say in this entire video. And it's something too many men don't hear nearly often enough, especially as they grow older. Stay with me, because this last part may just shift the way you see yourself entirely. 7. Final message from Dr. Cyram Malik. If you take just one thing from everything we've discussed today, let it be this. You are not past your prime. You are not too old, too late, or too far gone. The decline you may have felt creeping in over the years is not permanent. It is not a verdict. It is a signal. Your body asking for support, not surrender. We've talked about how circulation quietly fades as men age, how nitric oxide production slows, and how that single physiological shift can ripple outward and affect everything from energy to mental clarity to deep, intimate connection. We've explored how a simple, familiar ingredient like baking soda, used correctly and consistently, can help rebalance your internal environment, support your blood vessels, and begin restoring something many men fear they have lost for good. You've heard real stories from real men. And I hope what came through most clearly is this. The goal was never to chase youth. It was to reclaim vitality, to show up fully, to feel strong and genuinely present in your body, in your relationships, in your own life. As a physician, I have spent over 30 years sitting across from men who simply wanted to feel like themselves again. And I can tell you with complete certainty, age is not your enemy. Disconnection is. And the moment you begin caring for your body with intention, even in the smallest ways, you begin to write a different story for yourself. So if your mornings have felt heavy, if your confidence has slipped quietly away, if you've been wondering in those still private moments whether this is simply how it ends, I want you to hear me clearly. It does not have to end this way. You now have a starting point. One small glass, a few mornings a week, and a mindset that says, I am not done. I am not fading. I am choosing to take care of myself again. And if you ever doubt that choice, remember this. There is a reason you are still here, still listening, still searching. That reason is your next chapter. And it is absolutely worth every step you take to claim it. If this message meant something to you, if it gave you clarity or hope, or even just a moment to breathe and think differently about your health, I'd be genuinely grateful if you would take a moment to show your support. Simply click the like button so I know this is reaching the people who need it most. It may feel like a small gesture, but it truly helps more than you know. And if you know someone, a friend, a brother, a neighbor, who is quietly struggling with energy, confidence, or connection, please don't keep this to yourself. Share it with them. We don't talk about these things openly enough as men, and sometimes a single video can be exactly the nudge someone has been waiting for. I'd also love to hear from you directly. Leave a comment below. Tell me what stood out to you most, or where you are in your own journey. Whether you're just beginning to take your health seriously again, or you've been trying everything with little progress, your story matters deeply. And your voice just might encourage someone else to take that very first step. This is how we grow together. One choice, one conversation, one day at a time. So please like, share, and leave a comment below. And thank you, sincerely, for spending this time with me today. You are not alone. And you are not done. Not by a long shot. I'm Dr. Cyram Malik. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.